So, I'm going to start out a quick video and just talk a little bit about what I've been doing. Today I spent time cleaning out the patio, setting up my table over in the corner here so that I have space to work. As you can see right now, it's in shade, and that's kind of important. It's, let's see, 1:30, and now at 1:30 I can actually come outside here and work in shade. I also have a pop-up tent here that I'm going to probably put up right along here someplace. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I'll push it up against that post or this post or that post, but I'll have another covered area to work because I'm expecting, unfortunately, some rain over the next several days. So that'll give me some options. But some of the things that I'm hoping to accomplish in the near future is figuring out this wall. We're looking to close off or put a knee wall up along where this 2x4 is that's horizontal. And the reason is to just cover some of the less than attractive woodwork that's at the bottom of these supports. Long story, we had to have a concrete patio replaced, and they just didn't come up to the exact same level, so I want to hide that by just boxing it in and making the knee wall something that we can put planters on. So not that it's the same effect, but if you take a look at this bench, just having a platform to put things on that runs along here. Our barbecue's on wheels. You'll find it all over the place different times. We've got 3 planters set up. There's irrigation to them. Going to check to make sure that that's working. You can see the line going here. This section here going out to the fence in, this is going to be changed to bluestone since I have an abundance. Swing this that way and leave it, or fill it. I'm sorry, that just comes out, and this will be just one continuous wrap. Then we have garden beds here, multiples. This one's kind of got a couple of gladiolas popping up, but there'll be space for us to put things in there. I don't know, probably herbs. That's my best guess. Same thing here, maybe a tomato plant. Here I had put these cages in because there was enough room here to say, okay, I could plant some tomatoes in here. It's going to get watered, it's going to get good sun. Got a rose bush that's growing. I see it's starting to have a little growth spurt. That's good, it's a good news. A few weeds in the back, you know, just a few minutes worth of work, not even minutes. The rose bush growing in there. We have gnomes floating around. They show up and they move. Feel free to move them around when you get a chance. This is called a crepe myrtle, and she'll probably grow to about this big. Kind of imagining it. A little tall if we're lucky. This is a lilac which has been cut back and is going to grow back in fairly quick. Some daylilies, some rosemary, some more gladiolas. We got tons of gladiolas. Nancy and I went gladiola happy. We've got a little shade now coming in here, if you can see. Underneath this section here, I'm looking to put some things that'll like shade. So I put mint in. Daylilies like it. The gladiolas. I'm thinking about moving this post out to here, so there'll be a little bit of a shaded garden there. More daylilies, more gladiolas. Not so much shade coming from this section of the grapes because it's just not as filled in. I had to cut more of that back. We have some flower pots that we might do something with. There are sprinkler heads in the corners, and we have some options on how to use them to irrigate. Might want to, I don't know, we might have a project. That I think is probably good enough, but some weeding back here. Some more gray stone to go in here to just kind of clean this up. We have this, oh wow, there's a big branch shooting off right here. That's cool. Just a climbing rose that I'm looking to see it now, if I can get it to climb. I have a support wire there, so it should handle some weight for a good distance across. The shed, oh god. The shed is the staging area for everything. I don't know how well this is going to light up. I guess if I stick my head right in here, it'll come up. But this is just how we have projects staged. All the landscape and flower pots and seeding and chicken feed, which I got to do some chicken feed today. some bird feeders that have to be put away someplace. The coop, I'd love to see an egg here from Haley. No egg. No egg. So I got my eggs for the day probably. Oh, they're in there, I forgot. The run is doing pretty good. The coop is looking pretty good. We'll go over how to maintain that. I threw some oyster shell out. Ah, there we go. Someone didn't feel like going into the nest box. This is a new thing for her. This is from the black one, Luna. I don't know why. The nest box is clean, so I'll have to look and see if it means anything about what's going on with them. We have some transplanting to get done. Some of the stuff is bolted. I'll explain that more in detail later. We've got a little bit of a flower garden here that I'm starting to dump. It may not be so obvious, but there's some darker colored wood chips in here. This has been a year old. It's bleached. So that brown in the coop will come out here once it's been properly fertilized. We've got new rose bushes, which are doing fantastic. We've got the garden ready to go. Some maintenance work. There's a pile over here of compost to build a compost system here or somewhere over here and move the coop. We've got a plum tree that's doing well, some blueberries over here, some new roses here and here. The girls hanging out in the mobile chicken coop. They look pretty content. They're safe, they're dry, they've got a nice breeze, they've got food, they've got water, they got grass. And with this egg coming in, I think that gives me 4 for the day. The only other one would be Haley if she lays one, and she's, I think, going through a molt, so no eggs from her. My shed here with tools and lawn mowers and stuff in it. Back behind the shed, this is looking pretty good actually because there's no weeds growing. I'm going to move those concrete and these pieces of wood someplace. This is where I'm staging my posts that we need for fencing and the temporary gates. This bed is probably something we'll work on as well as far as tearing it all out and starting over. We call it the cottage garden. Of course, the garden, you've seen this in some pictures. I have most things cleared up off of my workbench, but there's some things that'll stay. And I'll just need access to them. That's all there is to it, you know. Camper, truck, pallets for the compost system. I quite often work right out of the back of my truck. We've got some toys that are on the driveway. Along the fence here, maybe you've seen it in the Little White Dory videos, but right through here we're going to try to get that under control. Other things are just to complete some of the irrigation system for these plants over here. Hopefully we can get that working. And to empty out this might be a priority for us for tomorrow. As I sound so on Craigslist I might want, and I need the trailer. So we might wind up doing this as the first and only major project just to get the trailer freed up. What else? This is where I plan on doing some more seed planting. We've got a couple of flats of annuals. We'll figure out where they're going to go, what they're going to do. And I'm setting up so we can do some of this stuff on this table over here so that when we're done we can give it a cleaning and then a quick coat of paint. It's funny, I'm just noticing that the picnic table umbrella part is not centered. It's funny. So, there we have it. That's the update for around here. Projects have come along, and I appreciate that, you know, I have help. I'm appreciating this is what I'll call a nice exchange. And we look forward to doing all kinds of stuff together. All right? I'll talk to you very shortly. Bye-bye.